detective. Thrill me.
Thanks for joining us again. A bit of 3D stuff, Jared. 2010's Piranha 3D is tonight's episode. Unfortunately, obviously we haven't been watching anything because it's done pretty quickly back to back. So without sort of bunking around, let's just dive straight in. Here's the trailer to 2010's Piranha 3D.
Bring the noise!
There are many summer films for the whole family. This isn't one of them.
There's something in the water!
On August 20th,
Oh my god!
don't scream. Just swim. Piranha in 3D. This film is not yet rated.
Piranha 3D from 2010. Directed by Alex Arja, who directed High Tension. It's produced by Alex Arja, Mark Canton, who produced 300, Gregory Levasseur, who produced Crawl, and Mark Toberoff, who produced Prey. It's written by Pete Goldfinger, who wrote Saw X, and Josh Stolberg, who wrote Sorority Row. It stars Elizabeth Shue as Julie Forrester, Adam Scott as Novak, Jerry O'Connell as Derek Jones, Jessica Shozer as Kelly, and Christopher Lloyd as Mr. Carl Goodman. The budget is $24 million. The box office was $83 million worldwide. Alex Arja planned to have Joe Dante, who was the director of the original Piranha, and James Cameron, who directed Piranha 2: The Spawning, play boat captains who give safety lessons to the teens. Dante was keen to do it, but James Cameron was too busy.
Yeah, I bet he was.
Oh, I reckon that would have been fucking piss funny.
Yeah,
too. It would have been a really cool way to sort of tie it all up. All right, Jared, Piranha 3D. You pulled this one out after we did a bit of a deep dive for Skinnamarink, and there was a lot of not tonight.
There was a lot of things that we're not equipped for at this particular point, I wouldn't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I've been hanging to cover this one for a while. It's in that fucking pocket of stuff that I dig. Like, a couple of others that we should cover, like Planet Terror and, the Machete movies, which we've done one of.
Yep.
There's a bit of a parody element to it. This is the first time I had seen it not in the 3D.
Yeah.
Because I saw it in the cinemas in 3D, and I've got a copy of the Blu-ray that had the 3D disc. But buggered if I'd know where I could watch that now. It's got the 2D version as well. But so watching it was a little bit different, but you could clearly see where the 3D elements were, and they were pretty good in that regard.
Yeah.
Look, it's light on the story elements. There's parts of it that probably don't even need to be there. But if you're going to do away with that stuff and point in the direction of, well, we're going to do gore, we're going to do a few scares, we're going to do this, you better fucking do it like this. This is almost one of the prime examples of how to do it if you just want a fun movie that ignores some of that sort of stuff. I think it's still pretty funny. Like, Jerry O'Connell and Eli Roth especially get a few laughs out of me.
Yeah.
Some of the kills are actually really well handled. Some of them are actually quite... there's an element of holding back on them, which doesn't happen often, but there's a few early where they hold back before we just go all-out carnage.
Yeah.
And, all in all, I think it's still a fucking great time. I went 3.5, but I was very close to a 4.
I would agree on 3.5. Just great fun. Heaps of action, heaps of gore, all of it well handled by Alex Arja. Character development, minimal. There's some steps that could have been taken there to perhaps shore up some of that, but there's no real need for it. It doesn't hurt the fact that, honestly, I couldn't have given a shit about the characters.
Yeah.
The situations that happen, it's pretty sharp. It's 90 minutes. It punches through quickly, and it gives set piece after set piece. So really, characters aren't really that important.
No. It lays its cards on the table, and it just plays exactly what you see.
And it basically does exactly what it says it's going to do.
Yeah.
Right? So I gave it 3.5 as well. I really enjoyed it. straight out of the gate, it's a good cast. Good
Yeah.
cast of seasoned sort of vets. Elizabeth Shue, Ving Rhames, Jerry O'Connell. These guys, on a smaller budget like this is who you need.
Yeah.
You know, you make it palatable that way.
Yeah, and I think we talked about the lack of like character development, but there's moments where Elizabeth Shue and Ving Rhames have a couple of little back and forths that, you know, it's very brief, but there's a little bit of chemistry there. They actually do seem like workmates that like to work together and that sort of thing. Jerry O'Connell is fucking far too good at playing a real asshole.
He's
so
funny.
good.
His performance is by far the best thing in the movie.
It's funny. It's very funny. And then, you know, the way he kind of escalates, we'll go into it a little bit, but the way he escalates and things like that. Christopher Lloyd's a little over the top. But,
Yeah.
But he's only in there briefly and he's essentially playing Doc Brown. And you kind of, the way that you've kind of set things up, I'm all right with that. You know, we only go to him to get a little bit of info about the piranhas, and that's where we leave it. Like it's
Yeah, and the movie's not bogged down in that shit either.
no.
Like, it's not bogged down in, okay, where did the piranhas come from? Who fucking cares?
Who cares?
A
Yeah.
fissure opened up and they came out.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Here they come.
Yeah, here we come.
So that was all. I thought the cast all did quite well. The younger actors, I can't really sort of place anything else that they've really done. Especially
Well-
the younger couple,
Yes.
but they were fine.
They were fine enough, yeah. It's just that, I mean, I'll get to it in the dislikes, but the character development hurts them from an acting standpoint. And I'll get to why I feel like that occurs. I think they do a really good job of capturing Spring Break and the vibe and the chaos of having all them people in one place. And,
Yeah.
you know,
And the way they're fucking
and
trashing
the
your
fuck
lake.
wits and the, you know, like
Yeah.
all that. I think that actually they do quite a nice job of sort of creating that constantly throughout.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. Like, it's not hard to work out what kind of fucking dickheads would be around there, but it works well to kind of create the atmosphere there.
Yeah.
And then I think they do a really good job of actually separating the key groups.
Yeah.
So the sheriff is over here. The son, Jake, is on the boat with O'Connell, and they're over here. The kids are now in the canoe. They're over here.
Yeah.
So we've now separated everyone. We've broken it up to make it, to give it that people are in danger now. I like that. Simple but very effective.
Effective. Exactly right. And as you said, they don't get bogged down in trying to do too much of it. Like normally I would criticise a movie for probably the lack of story that this one's got. But it's just so much fun. And it's clear from the get-go, we're not going for that, but we're going to do just enough.
Yes.
We're going to do just enough
You
to
need
set
to
up
have a
all the
couple of
fun.
characters. You need to have them there, but then we're going to go straight past it. And look, you know, it's a pretty breakneck pace. So it doesn't really slow down to give you the chance to go, well, fuck, I don't even know this guy.
No.
Honestly, I don't care.
No. Yeah, I would agree with that.
The Richard Dreyfuss cameo is a really cool way to kind of touch point with Jaws.
Yeah.
He's dressed the same way that Hooper was.
Yeah.
He's singing the song.
They call him Matt.
Yeah. So I like those ideas just to sort of touch, to get him into, like, to have a little thing of, like, this is kind of like a rip-off of Jaws, like the original was.
But I also love the fact that, you know, we set the tone. It's a little bit, we're going to nod to this a little bit, but then we go and do something a little gorier and a little different the way he dies. And then almost, you know, it's only a few minutes after that. I appreciate the way that Elizabeth Shue kind of mentions shit. What would you say if I close the lake? And Ving Rhames just shuts that down straight away, essentially saying, look, we've given our nod, but we're a little different. We're going to do things a little different here. You know, we're not getting them off the lake. There's not going to be that outside drama. We've just sort of cut that off right here.
Yep.
And all these people are going to be in danger. Basically, we kind of go a different.
And we're not going to go with the
beginning.
whole, we shut the lake and then you disobeyed us. A small group disobeyed us.
Yes.
No, we're not going to shut the lake, and there's fucking thousands of people out there.
Yeah.
Like, I like that idea.
I think it's good. And it's also, look, it's an admission that Jaws is Jaws when no one else has fucking got close.
Yeah,
So we're just going to do it our way.
Yeah,
And
correct.
we're going to have some fun with it.
Yeah, agreed. And I think it works really well in that the way they do that.
Yeah.
The stuff in the cave with the two divers, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They build some tension. You know, they're down underwater. You don't know where the piranhas are. And then they go into the cave and they find all the eggs and that. And then he strikes the flare and they're all around him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then they just go, they just rip him to shit. And then his buddy goes after him. She gets torn apart.
And that's the one that I was saying. Like,
I wouldn't bring the cunt back on board though. He was just,
when
a
they
sack
brought
of
him
meat.
back, it was like, it was just a couple of bones. Like that one was the one that was kind of, in a way, it was underplayed. They go that flare, and we get a little jump,
and they go
jolt, and then they just surround him. You don't see shit,
and then all you see is the line he was on go.
Yeah, you see that come, and then Adam Scott's character kind of eventually dives in there, but it's all done.
Yeah,
and we don't really see it in graphic detail or anything, which works well. We just see the swarm of piranhas, and then and
that's it.
Yeah.
And they do that a couple of times early on, just to showcase what they're capable of, but also the madness. I mean, I think later on it comes to the madness of people desperately trying to get out of the fucking water.
Yeah.
Which adds that extra element.
Yeah, they
to
kick it into full gear later on. Yeah.
Jerry O'Connell snorting coke and then engaging in conversations where he's got a big fucking smear of coke under his nose.
Yeah. Gold. And his mood starts to escalate. He starts to get a bit fired up.
Yeah, he's getting the shits and he's fucking, you're missing my shot.
Yeah. But then when, Jake mentions, my mum's a sheriff, and he kind of stops and then starts rubbing his lip.
Yeah, one of the girls starts going,
yeah.
And then you look over and he's here going,
he's such an idiot.
He's
such a dick for the whole movie. And it's funny in some points.
I mean, he's such a dick that even when he's torn up, his first response is, they took my penis. Priorities, mate. He fucking cares.
Hey, remember when he comes back to life?
Yeah.
Wet t-shirt.
That's all he says.
Yeah.
So he never comes out of anything more than just a sleazy asshole the whole time.
I mean, you mentioned this, but did the whole Trip McNeely cameo get him this job?
I reckon it did. I reckon that's Trip McNeely. That's Trip McNeely.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, I keep having a fucking running joke with my missus and keep saying things like, couldn't even get digits as a freshman all the time. Yeah. After I told her about Trip McNeely.
Yeah.
And she is sick to death of it.
How could you get sick of Trip McNeely?
But yeah, Jerry O'Connell's fucking
flip-flops
stuff
in
is
the
just...
shower.
What's all over my feet? His work is great. It's just... Once again, he escalates, but he's still fucking funny to watch.
Yeah.
Even though he's getting angry and he's starting to become
the whole way through
difficult, even more difficult, but he's still funny to look at.
Yeah.
I think that's important, and I think that's
especially when he gets down to the fucking red speedos. He's fucking strutting around the boat in the speedos and the white shirt, fucking telling everyone how it's going to go. Yeah, I just couldn't help but laugh almost every time it was on.
The girl on the parachute who gets her fucking legs just tore off.
Yeah.
That was cool.
You know what's going to happen, but they tease it out a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of titillation.
They tease it out and they put some other things out there for us. But it's very reminiscent of a scene in Jaws 2.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing, parasailing. But that's, they pull that out of the he doesn't get attacked. But the way this works is just, the whole, she starts getting eaten. She's like, pull me up. And then fucking up she comes. She's missing both legs. And it's just, it's horrid.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Eli Roth. He's in it for maybe 2 minutes. He's got the best line in the movie. I'm going to have to do it. His line is, all right, Lake Victoria, who's ready for some titties? Fucking hell, that was awful. But
you were in stitches.
I was just beside myself, and that was piss funny.
His delivery is fantastic. And he's
And then
fucking
just-
gyrating.
He's
and
gyrating, and he's just got this running commentary about what's happening.
I think it's peak Eli Roth.
It's
He's
just in
fucking
the background.
fantastic.
You can just hear him going, "Oh yeah," sort of shit going on. Like, it was fucking hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
he's only in it for maybe 2 minutes,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then he gets fucking cleaned up by a boat. Fucking just crushes his head. Oh, I don't know why, but I was just laughing my ass off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's just the way he turns. He goes, ah!
Yeah. He was. I mean, if it wasn't for Jerry O'Connell, Eli Roth
was
would have
the-
won
yeah.
the movie in 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Like, it was fucking so funny. Yeah, that was very, very funny. And it coincides with when things just fucking
to shit.
go to overdrive. Like, we go from just building. Like, we see the piranhas. They never hide the piranhas, but they kind of just take their time with, we see a little bit of what they can do. We see some people get surrounded by them and then just get, they disappear. But we get to this scene and it's fucking on. It is all
It's like
going
10
on.
minutes of just fucking pure carnage.
Absolute carnage, yeah.
I mean, it starts with those two girls getting cut in half by the flying cable.
Cord, yeah, the cable.
It cuts loose, and then it just fucking cuts the pair of them in half. And it sits for a second while the top half of it just falls off into the water.
Yeah.
And then we're into fucking... We get, obviously, Eli Roth getting his head smashed in by the boat, and then the girl getting her hair caught in the propeller.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
And they tease that out. He's pulling the fucking propeller and trying to start it. And she's clearly hung up and she's screaming for him to stop.
Yeah.
Oh.
They actually do a really good job, I think, of going back and forth between under the water and above it. Like, you see, pretty much they've just made the water red.
Yeah.
And they're fucking churning it up a bit and people are just screaming and splashing about. But then the way that they continue to go underwater, and there's a couple of bits where they go under and you just see fucking...
People
there's a
get
couple of
faces
things that just
ripped
about
off.
made me vomit under there. People just getting ripped apart. It's pretty well done.
Yes.
And they go away from it and come back, and you don't feel the let up. You just feel like you're straight back into it, and it's still
Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't kind of... Cutting away for that portion doesn't ruin that.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's not a let off that they because I believe at the time they cut away, the shit's already starting to go down on the other boat.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the tension just stays at a level.
Yeah.
And then they
come
take it back to it, and it's fever pitch again. Like it's just all on.
Jerry O'Connell getting his legs torn off and then his cock chewed off.
Oh.
And then it floating down there, the piranha eats it, regurgitates it. I mean, honestly, I can try to... You really want to rub it in, don't you? Like,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
One of the highlight 3D moments.
Yeah, it just vomits it in front of the fucking camera.
I shouldn't... Yeah. It was pretty grotesque, but fuck, it was so funny. And so fitting for his character.
Yeah, exactly. And that, I like that because he was such a dick-related guy and a dick of a person. I like the fact that they actually did that to him.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Ving Rhames ripping out the propeller and going to town.
Awesome.
I dug that. And I like the fact that he kind of goes down, kind of swinging with the propeller. He knows he can't possibly survive. Although he does.
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
He comes back in the sequel.
He does turn up in the sequel with shotguns for legs. What the fuck? The sequel was garbage. Jesus Christ. But I loved it. I kind of liked that. Even though he doesn't get a lot to do and he's not in it very much, he's always that type of actor that sort of radiates that kind of tough guy image. And so I think that's a nice way to have him go out.
Yeah.
And the last one for me is the exploding boat.
Yep.
With the gas and the flare and them hanging off the other boat, and getting pulled out of there. It's exciting. It's tense.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It works.
Yep.
And it's a nice little action set piece to end it with.
Yeah. And I like that Elizabeth Shue is just fucking running the show. Like, she starts to get it going, but then the kid's like, get back in a boat and give me 10 seconds or whatever it is. I think it worked out really well. it would have been stronger in a piece where you cared a bit more for the characters. But in terms of just the excitement, it's an exciting way to finish off the film. It's pretty strong. It's pretty solid. Just a little piece of work.
Yeah, great. So, what was anything else that you had?
No, that was pretty much it.
Okay.
Unless I start, going line by line through Jerry O'Connell's.
Yeah. And he's dancing. They cut to that video of him online, and he's just there going,
he's throwing the thumbs,
throwing the double thumbs. There's these ladies around him. It's just fucking hilarious.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Visual effects overall are a bit dicey.
Yeah. A bit
I
hit
think
and
some
miss.
of it's deliberate.
Bit hit and miss.
I think some of it's actually deliberate.
Yeah. Some
because it's kind of towards the fact that the first one was kind of that cheap jack.
Yeah,
sort of filmmaking.
A little bit, and then some of it looks like it's stuff that might have been all right in 3D that doesn't look so good when you're not watching it in 3D.
But things like the whirlpool at the start, they look fucking terrible.
Look a bit shonky. The actual piranhas, there's points where they look really good underwater, and then there's points where they're out of the water where it looks a bit shonky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hit and miss overall.
Yeah. I mean, they don't rely on it hugely.
Mm.
It's not always in your face.
No, but then you take some of those effects and then you take them against the effects of the gore when people are getting chomped up and shit. They look fucking fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Practical work, the practical effects work is excellent.
Yeah, Jerry O'Connell's legs. After
he's laying on the fucking deck going, I mean, honestly, I am fucking kicking that guy overboard. Clearly he's not surviving that. And if he does,
puts a towel over his face too. I'm like, put it over the legs.
Yeah,
That's what I don't want to see.
Push him off the fucking edge.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where I had some problems. Okay, Kelly, the quasi-girlfriend character, irrelevant, unnecessary.
Yeah, not a lot happening there.
Not much happens. She doesn't really. There's not much of an arc. I know that he kisses her in that before they blow the boat up.
Yeah.
But that's not really an arc. That's
but that
just
was probably
simply,
another like too, that she proceeds to chunder when he's thinking he's got his moment here.
That was highly amusing.
Yeah.
And it was 3D chunder too, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
no, you're right. It's sort of just...
So there's no arc there.
Yeah.
Because all it is that he kisses her. That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I actually felt that they had some early banter between him and Kelly Brock.
Yeah.
Why not go with that?
Just go with that. Yeah.
Him and her start sort of flirting, and it's not like he was fucking 12.
Yeah.
He was 18 plus.
But it was all kind of complicated. Or not, it was so uncomplicated that it was just kind of like it just didn't amount to anything.
Yes.
Not complicated.
So why
in
have we
terms
got
of,
her?
Like we start with Kelly Brock and then we kind of just forget about that and go with the other girl whose character name is Kelly, correct?
Yeah.
Which all we ever get from that whole thing is, we get a scene at the start that makes it pretty clear that he likes her. She's back in town or whatever. And then the bloke that she's with throws a drink at him and then we're on the boat together. And as you said, nothing happens. She kind of gets
a bit crook. She overdrinks, gets crook.
And then he starts to, try to sort of take charge a little bit.
But then the piranhas are in fucking play by then.
Yeah.
So why are we worrying about this?
And we go away in the midst of it to do the whole fucking lake carnage thing, which I wouldn't change.
No, of course not.
Yeah, it's a little bit weak.
Yeah. And look.
But you're saying cut the Kelly character?
Cut the Kelly character entirely. Make him and Kelly Brock be the kind of like relationship part of it.
Mm.
Because they're flirting the whole time.
Yeah.
Whenever they're together, they're flirting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just done away with.
Yeah.
She's forgotten.
She
Kelly
starts
Brock
pushing
basically disappears.
She starts pushing them together.
Yes.
Let's have them do the shot.
Yeah.
The body
but
shot.
she kind of disappears after doing her underwater calisthenics or whatever with the other girl.
I don't know what it was in particular.
I'm not going to discuss it. But she disappears.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like, but I liked their banter. I kind of got the fact that he sort of dug her and she liked him.
Yeah, it felt a little bit more fun than the other relationship.
And it's kind of like, here's this kind of nerdy guy who was supposed to be supposed to be babysitting,
Yeah.
and he kind of sparks a bit of a connection, then he gets the opportunity to get on the boat with her.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it made sense.
This makes more sense. Yeah, I agree.
So I was kind of like, I felt like that was just a non-event. There was no need to have it.
Yep. Fair enough. I actually felt a similar way about the kids.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind the kids early on, and like his little sister kind of being a bit cheeky and sort of playing a little bit of a complication, and him having to pay him off and that sort of thing. But then when they leave and lose the fucking canoe,
That's weak.
just a little bit like, okay. It works from the sense, as you said, that we've split everyone up. We've got to get people going here, but it just feels a little convenient and a little sort of just stuck in there.
And the canoe, like losing the canoe, it's like that is so weak. Like,
Yeah, especially because
I think
they
it would have
just
been
show
all
them
right
go-
if they were still out on the water in the canoe.
yeah, and something happens and they get stuck on the island or something. Because what they do is they just get on the canoe, and then the next time you see them, he's standing on the island with the canoe floating away, and the girl's telling the boy.
So it's really, really piss poor.
Yeah,
They just kind of, they lost it.
Speaking of gormless idiots, your favourite, the little
Fucking-
brother.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, those characters are kind of irrelevant. They're just adding nothing to the table.
Yeah. And it's the same sort of situation. You could have just had one. You could have just had the little sister. Because the little brother doesn't do much except lose the canoe. And yeah,
Yeah.
I think you work out for him to kind of say, you're going to stay here, or I've got the neighbour to look after you or whatever, and just have the
I'll
sister.
tell you what, mate, if you cut the kids entirely, you
I
probably
understand
would've
why
been okay.
they're there. But yeah, I don't think you needed both of them. And I think we needed to tidy up the losing of the canoe just a touch.
Yeah.
Mix it
Agreed.
in with one of the attacks
Yes.
where they get fucking
It
knocked out of
gets
the canoe
fucking
and they have to
pushed
get going.
off, yeah, and
while
they have to swim to the
while
island.
birds getting fucking the parasailers will fucking knock them out of the canoe or something like that. Like,
Yeah. Could have been a nice way to do it.
yeah,
I think you mentioned Christopher Lloyd, but yeah, it's extremely hammy.
yeah,
And it
absolutely.
is just Doc Brown,
It's just Doc Brown.
a
Absolutely.
poor version of Doc Brown.
Yep. Mannerisms, everything.
Yeah.
Everything but the
Great
hair.
Scott. I'm talking about 1.21 gigawatts or something. The only other one I had was their plan to get off the other boat. It's fucking rubbish.
What?
Like, it's rubbish.
The rope?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he never tightens the rope
Yeah.
to keep them up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it starts to sort of bend and bend and bend towards the water.
You know what would have been handy? The jet ski
Yes.
that he fucking left behind.
Oh, yeah.
He probably could have got to the boat on the jet ski.
And grabbed a couple of them. At least
Yeah.
grabbed the kids, pop them
Yeah.
on the back.
Yep.
But he doesn't
And Kelly
extend.
Brock doesn't have to die. Fuck.
You know, she doesn't. No. But if he sort of extends the rope,
Yeah.
it gets tight, which
Yep, yep.
actually happens later when, after Kelly Brock's been killed, Elizabeth Shue falls into the water and she's still holding onto it, and he accelerates the boat and whoosh, up she comes again.
Yeah.
It's just so stupid. They've got fucking 4 people on the rope at one point.
Mm.
Like, what are you, stupid or something?
I get the what you're going for, like the tension of it and trying to make sure it's they're in danger.
Yeah.
It's not too easy. But yeah, considering what was at their disposal, it seems like there was an easier way to do it. So you do ask a few questions, which you could probably get. You could probably have it worked out in another way that you didn't necessarily need to ask those questions.
Correct. That was it for me.
Yep, same.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. I love it.
That was Piranha 3D. You can catch us on iTunes, Spotify and Podomatic, or wherever else you get your podcasts. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. We're on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com, and Instagram at thrillmepodcastau. Keep an eye on the Facebook page for details of the next movie, but until then, take it easy, everyone, and we'll catch you later. Cheers. Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.
prehistoric.au.